Hi, I'm Brian, and today I'm going to continue my education into Elvis Costello. I think it was a few videos back, a Keep or Purge video, that I showed that I'd picked up his album Trust, and it was slowly growing on me. And I thought to myself, well, I've got to go out and find a little bit more Elvis Costello. And I did by picking up this one. And this is this year's model, his second album, his first with the Attractions, and this is an original, I think, 1978 Australian copy, and that's really important on the Radar label because down below there's a song on this which is not on most copies throughout the world. Elvis Costello has always sort of fascinated me, and I played in a band once called Seagull Sandwich, a great band, and they played a lot of Elvis, or we played a lot of Elvis Costello songs. And the interesting thing was, I didn't really know any of the songs at that point. I just got up on stage and did what I was supposed to do. It was, I suppose, about 6 months after that that I picked up his compilation, The Man, which I think is a brilliant greatest hits or best of compilation. And I was able to hear these songs performed by Elvis Costello, some of them for the first time. A song like Allison I never heard until I picked up this compilation. But there was also one song on this album that I hadn't heard. It wasn't on The Man, so I'd never heard it. And it's on this album. When it came on, I went, oh, that's right. Now I'm starting to remember. The puzzle pieces sort of just popped into place. Anyway, as I said, it's the first album which the Attractions appear on it. And this is so important from everything I've heard and everything I've read, that this band is just incredible. People have been spruiking this to me, and they are pretty amazing. Steve Nieve on the keyboards. We've got Paul Thomas on drums and Bruce Thomas on the bass. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, so how did my education into Elvis Costello go? Do I give this one a thumbs up, or is this the end of the lesson? Let's find out. Now, the album kicks off with no action, and I've got to say, right from the start, I hate this song. And I hate it because I can't get it out of my brain. It's infectious. It stays in there, that chorus. I can't stop singing it. I just want to go, ah! Because it is a great song after all. I mean, there's this tsunami-like wave of guitars that are rushing at us. And then that's supported by the Thompson boys, twins, can't call them that because they're not related, the Thompson namesakes, who are setting their bass and drum stall out for us in the sun, saying business is open and business is good. It's a very angry, vitriolic lyric about a guy who's been told by his girl that his services are no longer required. And that comes through in the lyrics, these spiteful lyrics, which is, I don't want to kiss you, I don't want to touch, I don't want to see you because I don't miss you that much. And I love this section before this repetitive section of vocals before the third chorus, which sort of builds up to the chorus. Every time I phone you, I just want to put you down. Reminds me so much of XTC, who might have just had a little bit of a borrow of them saying, trying to taste the difference between a lemon and a lime, pain and pleasure, etc., like that. But then they may say that Elvis just stole his repetitive section from the 12 Days of Christmas. It just goes on and on and on. But whatever, No Action is a fantastic song. And this brings us into the third single, which is This Year's Girl. And this is about the objectification of women in the media. And there's some nasty images in this song, in the lyrics here. But I think we've got to remember always that Elvis is the one holding the camera, and he's holding it up to us, and he's asking whether we are participating in this behavior, whether we are being silent, whether we are calling it out. Got great guitars, jagged edged guitars in the song, pounding drums, and smooth as silk bass from Bruce Thomas. Absolutely wonderful. I love the first 30 seconds of this. It's very different. It sort of doesn't take me where the song doesn't go, the song proper doesn't go off to where I thought it was going to go. And the same for the last 30 seconds, which is almost a moment of psyche goodness. And as far as I'm concerned, if this band and Elvis are going to want to have a few of these excursions, then let's get into it, please. Up we go for The Beat is the next song, and we're all going on a summer holiday. That's the first line, not sung that way, of course, on the album. But it gives us that jaunty sort of happy feel of Cliff Richard's Summer Holiday. It's an okay song. It's a good song. And the band play it well. It's upbeat. I'm not sure how I feel about the tweeness of the keyboards. I'm not sure whether he's playing Continental Vox or Farfisa on this, but I'm not sure because I think they've been pushed up a little bit in the mix for me, and I want a little bit more guitar like we had on the first song. And the subject matter, I mean, is it time we had a talk? Is it about what I think it might be about, like the self-love that dare not speak its name? Anyway, there's some weird images in this song as well, but still doesn't matter. Let's move on. Pump It Up was the second single from this album, and it's a great song. And I can't believe that Seagull Sandwich, the band that I was in, of all of Elvis Costello's songs, did not play this one. But the keyboards here now come a little bit more prominent. Now, that's not fair. The keyboards just work better in this song, I think, as far as I'm concerned. It's a wonderful stomper. It's a rave up of a song, and it's really incredible. It's obviously it's paying homage to Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues in a little way, in some way. But then again, Dylan was probably paying homage from Subterranean Homesick Blues to Woody Guthrie or somebody. I don't know. But there are no new ideas. There's just different ways to put them together. And so let's accept that. The next song I absolutely adore. It's called Little Triggers, and it's a piano ballad. That's right, a piano ballad. There's no Continental or Farfisa or anything toy box Casio keyboard sounds. It's a piano. And Steve Nieve plays beautifully. In fact, I've got no problem with Steve Nieve's playing on anything throughout the album. He's great. The sound doesn't work for me, which probably makes me the odd person out here, not Steve or anybody else. I love how it's a great ballad, and I love how he gets triggers and sniggers to rhyme together. Another thing I absolutely adore about this song is the use of the tremolo on the guitar. Wah, 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 wah. That's not how it sounds. It's just me doing a little sound that goes wah, 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 wah. Anyway, that tremolo on guitar is great. It takes me back to the early 60s. It's wonderful. And then we've got that echo on the end of a verse line. Is it on, you're going to weaken these, comes out of nowhere, and it's absolutely sublime. And then next on is You Belong to Me. And talk about an earworm. Oh my God, an earworm for all the wrong reasons in a sense, because as soon as I heard this song, I thought, I've heard that opening riff before. Where does it come from? Which song? And for about 3 days, I was playing it over and over again. And I was listening to it, and I just couldn't make the connection. And I thought, hey, you know what? Why don't I just Google it? And so I got that great idea, and the first result up said it was the Rolling Stones, The Last Time. Oh, well, the sounds of the guitars are absolutely enormous, and there's some great playing, and Bruce, particularly in that last 30 seconds on the bass, he just goes ape wild, and sort of also gives a nod here to Paul McCartney, a la sort of the Rain bass style. Love it. You know, Elvis, You Belong to Me. Dylan, She Belongs to Me. Oh, I'm getting confused now. My brain's going all over the place. And my brain's going a little bit further all over the place when I'm going to talk to you about, oh no! I just dropped the vinyl. It just came straight out. Oh, Father Vinyl, forgive me because I have sinned. It's all right. It's all right. Cost $15. It'll work. It'll work. Anyway, oh God, sorry about that. If that is a traumatic experience for you, I'm sure there are members of the VC community who you are able to contact. And why did I say VC community? Surely the community or the C was redundant there. But I can assure you that on this album, if you look at the track listing in its big, bold, brilliant, bouncy font on the side there, you'll be able to see the extra track, and it's there. You're going to have to take it from me because I've held a microscope up to this, and I've also stuck on a pair of glasses to look at it to know that it is, in fact, Watching the Detectives. And so that's something like in Australia that I think we get right. You know, these non-album singles, they eventually or immediately wind up on albums. And I know the argument, well, we don't want the punter to pay twice for the same song. Rubbish. Give me the song on an album at different times, different places. I mean, but why are they still doing it? Just astonishing. Anyway, in Australia, we get Watching the Detectives. Like with the Smiths' Meat is Murder album, we got How Soon Is Now on Meat is Murder, if that makes sense. What more is there to say about watching the detectives? I don't know that I would have bought this album if it wasn't on there, and that's only because I knew it was on there. Um, so I knew it was out there, so that I desperately wanted. I'm really treating that gently now, but maybe the horse is bolted and the gates aren't shut yet. Oh well. Great song, has that real noir feeling, and it takes us to these murky, strange, eerie, scary places, and it's really exciting. And the lyrics: he snatched at you and you match his cigarette. She pulls her eyes out with a face like a magnet. I don't know how much more of this I can take. She's filing her nails while they're dragging the lake. Oh, yeah. So, Australian copy, still in one piece. Can I even put that up now? Maybe I'll cut away to something else. Anyway, great side of music. Really enjoyed it. Let's see what's on side two. Well, things are going from bad to worse on the previously professional Institute of Pop video channel. I've just played back that entire last video that I shot and realized that when the vinyl came in contact with the floor, on the way through, it hit my microphone. And so there were terrible sounds emanating from my microphone. But that wasn't the worst thing. The worst thing is that I called my record a vinyl. Now, I might even cut in a replay of that to prove it. Oh, no. I just dropped the vinyl. If not, I couldn't have been bothered in the first place. But I am bothered to get back to Elvis Costello's This Year's Model. And the second side opens with Hand in Hand. And this is a cool little song, and it's cool because it starts with those reverse vocals, which make me think, where in the hell are we going with this? This is good. Give me some more. You get lots of guitars, great bass playing by Bruce Thomas, and the drums take us back to the early days of pop rock. It's a sort of a nice tribute to that, really good. Build up to the bridge is really excellent as well, and I think Garbage might have just sort of borrowed a little from Elvis here with their song Temptation Waits off the version 2.0. You come on like a drug. I just can't get enough. I think I got those lines around the wrong way, but nothing's going according to plan today. So, but you get what I'm talking about. And then we move on to Chelsea. And Chelsea is my favorite song on this album, and it's going to stay that way forever, I think. And it's a song that we used to play in Seagull Sandwich, but we played it quite a lot faster. So much so that that iconic guitar riff, which is not exactly how it sounds like at all, boom, baby, doom, or something like that. I used to have to play it at this speed. And like I was doing a Frank Gambale video guitar shop workout or something. It was terrible. So we ended up just axing one of the most iconic riffs in his collection. How about that? But it's absolutely killer from start to finish with those drums and those bass. Absolutely fantastic. And I love the idea that Paul Thomas, after Watching the Detectives, remember that? That was the song which all the disaster occurred in. After Watching the Detectives, and that iconic drum fill opening, that he wanted to have his own Elvis Costello drum fill iconic opening, and this was the song. And it sounds absolutely wonderful. I do love that guitar riff. It's filled with amphetamine energy. It's just adrenalized. It's edgy. It's nasty, and it kind of reminds me a lot of Graham Greene's Brighton Rock and the insidious undertow of violence that goes throughout that novel. Now, that's interesting because I know this is called Don't Want to Go to Chelsea. I'm not trying to change it to I Don't Want to Go to Brighton, although same amount of syllables, they'll work. But the keyboards also are fantastic here because they play into that idea of going back into the 60s and to the beach and the danger that was lurking through and the violence that was lurking throughout that place at the time of the novel. I mean, I don't even know whether it's, I just keep looking down at my microphone, excuse me. I don't even know whether it's London or whether it's New York, Chelsea, although I assume it's Chelsea because that was such a cultural hub where they had a hubbub in the hub at that point with like Vivienne Westwood's shop, etc. Brilliant lyrics here. She gave a little flirt, gave herself a little cuddle, but there's no place here for the miniskirt waddle. Capital punishment. She's last year's model. They call her Natasha when she looks like Elsie. I don't want to go to Chelsea. And that sort of, call her Natasha when she looks like Elsie. That really ties into Chelsea, London, and the culture, doesn't it? Uh, then we come up to Lip Service, and this was the song that I played in Seagull Sandwich for a whole bunch of times without never hearing what it really sounded like or what it sounded like when Elvis did it. And it was only when I picked up this a couple of weeks ago that I heard Lip Service for the first time, because it wasn't on The Man. And I was pleasantly surprised. Bit by bit, the song came back to me, and I thought, yeah, we used to do that song. Great pop song. Love that riff. We used to do it with guitar and sax doubling in it. Absolutely wonderful. It's almost, but what a killer pop song. The beauty of the happiness of the music juxtaposing with the bitter and spite in the lyrics. He does it all the way through this album. It's very clever. Sometimes what you're hearing in terms of the lyrics are not what you're expecting through the hearing of the music. Up to Living in Paradise, and there's this huge slinky bass, and the whole band is superb here, and the guitar gives us the feel of that Under the Boardwalk sort of feel. You know that feel. Everybody knows that feel. Or maybe it's just because I got Brighton and beaches on my mind because of Graham Greene. Who knows? Anyway, it's a cool song, which would have been great to hear it live. And on record, it just accentuates Elvis's melodic abilities. Next up is my favorite discovery from listening to this album. It's called Lipstick Vogue. And this is kind of what I was absolutely waiting for, because the Attractions are such a fantastic band that I was wondering whether Elvis and the guys and all four of them together would actually just have an opportunity to stretch out and really take out a song. And this is the one to do it. It's sort of that drum roll. The drum beat in this is like a rumba or something, which I would think of as like approximating Johnny Cash's Orange Blossom Special. It's just relentless. It's got the fury of a runaway train. I'm not sure that trains can feel fury, but I guess you know what I mean. I love everything that's going on in this. There's a slightly Eastern motif on the keyboard field, which I adore. And I love particularly in the middle where they just drop everything down to a very, very soft bass and rhythm, and then slowly build everything up again. I've just done some videos on Joe Jackson, and it's very similar to what Joe Jackson was doing on Friday, although Elvis did it first. Anyway, the climax is amazing, and leave it down in, this is a serious thing though, leave a comment down below if you could tell me another song which is similar to this at all in terms of the band just having lots of space to work with and just as hard rocking as this. I'd really like to know. And then, fantastic. Then we come to the last song, which is called Night Rally, which is an anti-fascist song, which I think is in response to neo-Nazism and maybe the National Front who were around at the time. The early drum pattern, of course, resembles those calls to war, the because, you know, I think what's being pointed out at us is that if you don't speak out, you're going to live on your knees as opposed to being able to stand on your feet. With the great lyrics, you think they're so dumb, you think they're so funny, wait until they've got you running to the night rally. And the outro of this song is really chilling and cold and scary. And I keep coming back to this image of Elvis taking the photo of us. And do we still think they're so dumb and funny in 2025? Really? Maybe we've all grown up a bit and don't just carelessly fling vinyl around a room. Vinyl records. Anyway, great album. So it's only a matter of moments before there's an insistent knock on the door and the men in white coats come inside to take me away to a dark place where I will be administered vinyl therapy for the atrocities and the crimes that I've committed against wax. This may be my final film. Although how dare you call it a film? What are you, some sort of director, some sort of auteur? Can't even remember now. So I hope to see you again, because it has been an enormous pleasure journeying through this year's model by Elvis Costello again, or for the first time with you. And remember that if music of any size, shape, sound, or subject gives you pleasure, then who am I to argue with your opinion? I'm past that stage. I hope you've really enjoyed this video, and if you're still with me now, love you to leave a comment, and potentially on the way down, hit a like and a subscribe. You know you want to. Until next time, hope you're all doing really well, staying cool, and bye now.